The company once known for the red box logo is currently getting outboxed in the vicious cycle of the resale market by a household item that most of us have in our own homes. Something as simple as a cup. But more specifically, it's actually the Stanley Cup. I'm sure you've seen it go viral all over the internet, especially TikTok. But before I speak about the Stanley Cup, I want to give some background on Supreme as a company. The year was 1994 when Supreme finally made its beautiful way onto the Lafayette Street in Soho in New York City. Created by the great James Jabaya. I hope I'm not butchering that, buddy. He created that for a skateboard store for skateboarders. Clearly, they wanted to skate and shit, so he made a clothing store for them. It went from skateboard clothing based on mid-90s wear and movies to a streetwear brand that basically impacted an entire culture. I mean, you can even see famous celebrities wearing it, like The Game, Kanye West, Travis Scott, and the most important person who actually probably put Supreme on the face of the map in 2011 was the rapper who was widely known as Tyler the Creator. He was the reason that Supreme actually kind of blew the fuck up again. He was seen wearing it in different commercials.
The way I wear Supreme is, I don't know, I wake up, I go in my closet and grab whatever shirt I feel like wearing. I usually wear the same hat for like months until it's worn out, and that's about it.
You can even see a clip here of him in the line of Supreme back then.
Hey, can I say something to the camera? Fuck Obama!
So clearly he was a fan. He was kind of an edgy kid. I believe he was about 19 years old at the time. It sparked a bunch of kids to say, what the hell is this? Okay, I gotta get this before anybody else gets it. And boom, 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 the lines started forming.
As close as you can to the wall.
Start that, one step back. Hey! Hey! So we down the street at the Holiday Inn paying $200 a night just for the fucking NYPD to shut this shit down.
And after a huge crowd in New York spilled into the street, the opening was canceled. Their shoes sold online.
This event is officially canceled.
Huge hype for a shoe that most here admit they will never wear.
I'm about to get me a pair of shoes.
They're riding quite mighty and high into the Stanley Quencher Cup made its way onto the world. The important thing about this cup is that it'll keep your drinks hot and cold any goddamn time of the day. Like, you could be in a mountain in an avalanche and your drink will be completely fine, or you could be in a Sahara desert and your drink will still be cold if you got like one ice cube in there, I'm assuming. Now, supposedly the Stanley Cup was actually invented for World War pilots back in the day when they was flying in missions and stuff like that. It would always keep their drinks cold, even if they crash. That's the reason why you've seen a Stanley Cup in a fire in a car.
Everybody's so concerned about if the Stanley spills. But what about if it melts? It was in a fire yesterday. It still has ice in it.
But Stanley Cup was not relatively well known up until 2019 when some women said, okay, look, this Stanley Cup quencher is not selling. We got to do something about that shit. So they made some different moves, different shakes, partnered with the company, and they started selling them, started selling out.
109 years, Stanley insulated cups.
You ever seen one of these?
Yes.
These are very popular.
It's the hottest product on the market right now, the Stanley brand drinking cup.
It's the hot gift drawing screams and sobs of joy.
She wanted a Stanley Cup.
And all this hysteria over a cup.
But the reason why the Stanley Cup is actually blown up is because they've copied something that Supreme has done time and time again. They've introduced this element of scarcity and limited time drops that make people feel like, okay, wow, if I don't get my hands on this now, I'll never get a chance at getting this again. And you can thank this re-blowing up because of the Starbucks Stanley collab that was only in Target. So you can see people actually running to get these cups. They're stacked up right there. I know the workers were scared shitless just trying to let these cups go. And the funny thing is that these cups only originally sold for about $45. That's what their original retail price is supposed to be. See, $45. But if you scroll down a little bit more, you can even see some comments that says it's a freaking cup. Now, donate and adopt to your local shelter. My goodness, get a new hobby. Save my family's life. My Stanley Cup saved my family's life. It was so well insulated and large enough for us to hide in during a house fire. The cup protected my family during the inferno and kept us safe until the fire department arrived. And you know what? The ice inside the cup with us didn't even melt. Thank you, TikTok, for recommending it. I don't know, that shit's just kind of funny to me. But now you can see them on StockX retailing upwards of prices of like 120 to 270 bucks, all for a steel flask. The one thing that both Stanley and Supreme have in common is the element of FOMO. You can see how when people bought Supreme items at first, they were just collecting, because if you didn't have it, they did, and they could resell it. For example, a box logo cost about $168 back then, and now they don't sell for anything, but they were selling for upwards of $1,200 on StockX. And the same things happen with Stanley. These people are going towards these cups like Costco samples when I was a kid. They just keep going and eat and get more and more and more. That is a whole bunch of people getting 2 cups per. They had to limit the amount of cups you can get because it was getting kind of crazy. Like one dude actually got jumped because he tried to steal like, I think 8 cups in a cardboard box.
Loser.
That's how the internet can influence a product. There are even people camped out for these items. They're camped out in a Target. I mean, it's cool. You want to do your thing and shit. Like, you want to collect a cup? Go crazy. But is it worth camping out for? Like, really ask yourself that, bro. But even with the Stanley Cup madness craze going on and the similarity to Supreme, at one point it was almost impossible to get Supreme. Supreme had collabs with Louis Vuitton, Comme des Garçons. They had some collabs with every single person. That's what, if Supreme was dropping, they was probably dropping with some type of limited edition collab that made them gain more eyes like that. So limited edition drops and collaborations is what these two had in common. But I really think the true reason is why they've blown up even more is because TikTok to Stanley is how Tyler the Creator was to Supreme. They have even groups about collecting cups. People want to collect them, boom, boom, boom. They want to assemble them like the Infinity Stones, okay? If Thanos got his hands on these cups, snap his fingers, we all done for. I believe that in March of 2023, the last year, Supreme had estimations of hitting upwards of $600 million when it came to sales, but they actually did not hit their goal, and I believe they were under that by a decent margin. It's just not as popular as what it once was. I don't think there are long lines outside of Supreme like there used to be. There are longer lines waiting for a Stanley Cup, which is just raking in the dollars. So much so that they made $750 million in 2024. You can see that Stanley is going up and they're rising in popularity, but Supreme is just falling off slowly but surely. Now, all this basically showed me that instead of fighting over these items like rampant animals, we should just spend our money on more important things like shit for our dogs.